Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This is my first Club 100 video. This is also my first race. So the format of this event is North Junior Lightweight, and it is one practice session which is 10 minutes, a qualifying which is 10 minutes, and then the pre-final, and then the actual final, but top two from both pre-final and the final would move it to the A final. So now these are some just off-track footage of me, Lewis Cook and Paige Martin on the Friday of pre-event testing, just waiting around waiting for the group to go out. Alright, so now for the on-track footage. This is the practice session before the quali in the race, but sadly you are unable to wear the cameras for the racing, which will make it the video's a little bit harder, but still trying to give you as much footage as possible. So this is just before we're going out, and the guy in front is having some problems to start his car. They're not really sure what's actually gone wrong, but yeah, he ends up gets going, and now exiting the pits for my first time, everyone's first time besides from the Friday at the Silverstone. And it is incredibly wet, as you can see, but there is actually a lot of grip because there's been no rubber since we are also the first major championship to race on the track. So this is now turn 3, which is an amazing dive bomb area, as I've kind of just done there. But yeah, I'm just trying to get a feeling for the track and Club 100 in the wet, because last time I did it, it was on a no grip track, because it's been used. This hasn't been used, so it's a bit different in most places, because you can nearly take a dry line everywhere, which you don't really want to do on any other track. But now coming on this really long straight, which is also pretty good. It's really awkward to find your braking point, because you're going uphill, and when you brake, you're obviously going to brake later, so it's a bit of a tricky corner. There's a rumble strip there which you can get on. I didn't really do it much, but you probably can if you don't take too much, as barely miss him there and I get past. And here as well, another dive bomb spot, also a bit awkward because it's very late apex. It's a very swooping corner, which as you can see is really good for switchbacks, as I get one there. Can I get one here? Not quite, but I might be able to hold it around the outside, which I sadly don't. So this is just a view from the outside of the track to just show how bad the condition is. As you can see, all the spray down from the main straight there, just all the karts, which when you were behind them, it was pretty. The vision wasn't awful, but it was still start to rub your visor every now and again. And I'm in a bit of a battle at this point as well. As you can see me there, I'm going to turn 1. So that there was just some off-board footage of me come down the main straight into turn 1 and 2, because it's a bit difficult now to make the videos with not allowing the cameras to the race. But now we come down the long left-hander in practice, as to the right there is actually the old track tarmac, so you actually race on the old F1 layout here a little bit. And there's also some of the old curbs which have been used quite a lot, which I ended up getting to see, and they were really worn down. Now coming into, I don't actually know what corner this is, but very difficult because it's that uphill one where you can't really spot your braking. But there's a bit of a train now. Might be a little bit of battling in practice, which probably it's fun, yeah, but you don't really want it that much because you try to get a feeling towards the track. But I go for a switchback there, and I'm now on the right hand side, which is the outsiders. Can I go for a switchback? I missed that one, and I just miss him there for actually a very nice switchback in my opinion. He nearly goes on the grass there, as so the person in the green helmet flicks to the left as I had to stop, and you can see someone there putting the hand up, maybe not happy with something. But now coming down the long straight, you can see how good slipstream and the good exit is here, because he goes right past me, and he does actually get the person on the outside there. Can he hold it? And also, if you do hit the puddle on the inside, it does send you flying, which you might see later on. Now we're going to go 3 wide of that, flick to the left to get the inside. Do I hold it? Yeah, I actually do, which is pretty sketchy there because you're full lock and just hoping you don't go wide. It's here, which is also surprisingly, you can take a lot of it flat. That guy cuts the whole corner, but I judged it a bit wrong. I don't know whether I get past here. Do I hold it? Yeah, he's going really wide there, but him going wide here will set up for an amazing exit going down this straight now, as it's all uphill. As you can see, he's already on my left there, but I have the inside. Can I get this person as well? No. I braked really early there, actually. No, went a bit wide and got a bit of a snap there, you could see. I drifted off to the left, which ruined my exit. But now I'm catching right up. He nearly spins out there. He's done really well to control it, which now puts me on the outside, which I don't really get. And I maybe go for the dive bomb. I'm thinking about it. Nah, I ended up backing out. But then he misses the apex actually, so I try to get myself on the inside. And now I go for a switchback as well. Do I get it? Yeah. But this is also a lot of racing to say this is only practice. So if this is just practice, it'll be fun for the race. As you can see, that guy goes really wide, but that'll also give him an amazing exit. But just to show how overpowered the slipstream is here, he had a good exit and still in the slipstream I'm closing up so much that I can actually maybe go for a dive bomb down into turn 1. But as I said, if you hit that puddle, it drifts you out, as you see, getting really unbalanced on the kart there, which means he can actually hold it. But I'm really close. I'm going to go for a dive bomb here. This was really fun battling though. To say it was only practice in my actual first race weekend. Now I'm coming through this section again. It's actually, with all the grip that's down, you can take the first 2 flat, maybe the second one a little lift. But then here, it's really awkward because you're trying to just clip it at the very end as the curb stops, but also trying to get a wide exit, but you don't also want to be on the rumble strip. So in my opinion, it's a fun track. In the wet, not so much, because it's a bit weird with all the grip. Maybe later on it might become a bit better, but in the dry, which ended up getting later on in the day, it was pretty fun. But with all the curbs, they also told us to stay off of them. But in my opinion, I don't really think that some of the curbs are takeable, not all of them. Now coming into the long right-hander, I went really wide there, to be honest. But now I'm in a bit of clean air for the race. Well, not really a race. It was like that earlier though. But yeah, I'm in clean air for practice, which is pretty good because now I'm starting to actually get to understand the track layout, which is pretty fun. So now I'm going to hand it over to Alpha Live, which did a really good job broadcasting the event and some really good footage and good commentary.
Alright, we are back for the first of our junior races, the junior lightweight pre-B final. There they are, our juniors. First set of juniors getting ready to go out. We got to keep an eye on that lap record. Reeve, I've got a feeling we might see another one here. The lap record in question is a 1 minute 22.151 set by Sam Morse in the last qualifying session. Given that the pre-B final, the cadets will lap in 124s and therefore 3 seconds a lap quicker than they were in qualifying, I'm expecting to see some real significant change in lap time. Now we've got the lightweights first and we've got the super lightweights later, when they'll be even drier. As mentioned in the last race, different lines coming into play now. People figuring out that there's grip on, or equal amounts of grip on all different parts of the circuit as and when it dries out, and some very different lines allowing for lots of chopping and changing of position in that last race.
Absolutely. There's no rubber on this track, so when we start to get some running in, that does mean that it will make a little bit of difference, even in just the first few sessions that we've had this morning. Our juniors as well, maybe a little bit more experience, a little bit more time in karting, might be able to pick up on those changes in track surface just that little bit quicker perhaps. But they're heading out on track now and will begin to complete formations, which means in a few moments we should be ready to take a look at some grids. I think we have to wait a moment for those to come in, but for now we can see them all navigating their way around the pace kart, as we can indeed take a look at some of those grids now. So let's see what the race is shaping up to be like. Front of the grid, it's going to be Charlie Mullaney, Ollie Ward completing first row, Max Hayes and Harvey Brown complete row 2, followed by James McLaughlin and Alex Hope on row 3. Row 4 is going to include Arnav Dunga, and then Noah Morris, Dana Tillotson, Adam Marbrook, and then we have Milo Smith and Leo Judge on row 6. Row 7 will be Marcus Ashcroft, Mason Watson, Maxim Muskis, Jolan Wilcoxon, and then we have Daniel Larkin and Tancho Banda on row 8 and row 9. Row 10 is going to include Felix Flynn, Logan Gemmell, and then we have Noah Hadwin, William Taylor, and then row 12, Lewis Walton and Ayrton Revel. Final few karts then, it's going to be Gabrielle Lowe and Jordan Bennett Dowd on row 13, with Harvey Sales and Sebastian Kane completing our 28 kart grid for the Junior Lightweight 3B final.
Yeah, slightly bigger grids in the juniors than cadets. Hopefully that means slightly more action for us to commentate on, for you guys to watch at home. Do keep your support for the drivers coming in thick and fast in the YouTube comments. Love to see everyone cheering on their favourite drivers throughout the race.
We do indeed, and we see people watching from far and wide, so do let us know where you're tuning in from, whether it be at home, here at the track, or what corner of the globe you might be tuning in to show your support from. So looks like we've got a thumbs up from the pace kart there. We should see it dropping away in just a moment, as our juniors should be ready to head down those tram lines and go racing.
Yep, former champion in this series, Rory O'Regan, in the pace kart today. Pulls off to one side, and we will be getting going here. The 44 of Charlie Mullaney leads us away then in that distinctive Lando Norris style helmet. He holds the inside line for Wellington and takes the race lead going around stage. Looks pretty clean from all drivers, really impressive there from our pre-B juniors. Into Brooklands we come for the first time. A little bit of argy-bargy, but I think everyone's still facing the same way. The 74 is just about fitting that description. That's Logan Gemmell at a spot of bother further back, as we see some dice in full position coming down into Bridge.
We do indeed. Nice start, as you mentioned, Jacob, from Charlie Mullaney there. He was just able to pull away, although it has some competition running out of the Bridge corner.
To the inside is the 99. James McLaughlin takes the lead of this race and is bouncing up and down his seat. He wants to pull away as quickly as possible. The 60 of Max Hayes has made his way up into second place. It really is making for an exciting couple of opening laps in these races we've had so far. But yeah, the 99 of McLaughlin leads now around Seagrave into Seaman, and will be navigating through turn 17 Museum onto the start finish straight around in Farm Curve, and we'll be at the top of your timings. Let's see if anyone can get a run though into Wellington, the first left-hander of the circuit. There's someone shaping up there in the green suit, thinking better of it. That's our fourth place man, Milo Smith, having a look at pole sitter Charlie Mullaney.
Yeah, McLaughlin and Hayes lead us through onto the next lap then. Max Hayes, a rookie in the division this time around, so a really strong start for Max. We saw him thereabouts with Charlie Mullaney on lap 1. Charlie tumbling back just a little bit, currently running in fourth. Milo Smith finds a way on through up into third, getting close to fighting for those repechage positions, currently being held by James and Max. Just as we mentioned a moment ago, 9 minutes to go in this one. 25.7 is the fastest lap so far, but we are going to see a much more representative time coming in just a moment. A couple of cone warnings coming, one of them for James McLaughlin, just a warning, so no effect of the race results as a result of that. A reminder that we apply our penalties as a position after the race is completed, so if James McLaughlin were to get another cone warning translates into a cone penalty, he would see a position knocked off his final tally, but none of that so far. We have got a couple of penalties, ABC takeout for Leo Judge and then a braking formation for William Taylor. That means he's fallen out of the tram lines before the racing got underway. But now we can see that Milo Smith is beginning to put a bit more pressure on Max Hayes, and Max Hayes has clearly decided to not continue on with his line there and runs off wide through turn 17. That's Milo Smith up into second now, and Max Hayes has to wait to rejoin and rejoins in fifth in the end.
Yeah, so unlucky that for Max Hayes. He's doing really, really well as a rookie driver, being up in second position there. He's back down with another couple of rookies now, Harvey Brown in sixth and Alex Hope in seventh, who are all doing really well themselves. But yeah, for your first race in Club 100 to be challenging for the top 5 positions is really, really good. Regardless of who you are, up the inside goes to 51. That's a brilliant lunge from Arnav Dungana there into bridge. Really impressive from him. We see now the 99 and the 14, James McLaughlin and Milo Smith have a little bit of a gap out in front as the battle rages on behind them. That's Arnav Dungana and Charlie Mullaney. We saw Arnav make that position up just now. Charlie doesn't want to give it up too soon. He was on pole position for this one, remember, just a few laps ago. And Max Hayes is getting back involved too. The front two look to be pretty close. It'll be interesting to see if there's a move there going into turn one, if the slipstream can help. As
nice run Mullaney's, down the inside there.
Yeah, Mullaney's got really good drive out of Seaman. Unfortunately can't make a move down into Museum, but Max Hayes is certainly on the scene now. He has a bit of mud on the track there on the inside of the corners, massively defensive. Goes James McLaughlin, and that's round for Milo Smith. He's going to get going, but I think he's going to lose 4 or 5 positions here. Look to me, Reeve, I'm not race control by any stretch of the imagination, and any penalties are completely oblivious to what I might be saying here, but it looked to me like he got up on the curb and it was just wet.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. We've seen it plenty of times in the past. The paint on the track holds the moisture and has no grip at all, and it looks like he's just tried to go for a move down the inside. Has been lured into a false sense of security by the tarmac being pretty grippy, and has been caught out. Great shame for Milo Smith, who had actually just that second posted the new fastest lap and lap record of 1:18.7.
This battle is really raging now as Max Hayes makes his way up into 3rd place. Charlie Mullaney is struggling to hold on to his position here. The 51 of Arnav Dungana has found himself in a repechage position thanks to that great lunge he did just a lap ago, but Max Hayes hasn't given up on making his way into the Pre-A final either. Charlie Mullaney is still battling away there with, I think that's Alex Hope. Harvey Brown I think is in the mix here as well. So this is the battle for second. Yeah, up the inside goes Alex Hope. He's now into 4th, but he's not going to have as good a run out the corner as Charlie Mullaney, who's got Harvey Brown slipstreaming him from behind. After a little off earlier, a little run wide, Max Hayes is very much back in the conversation. Charlie Mullaney's really wide there on the exit of turn 1. Through stage they go. They're remonstrating with each other as to who should give the place back, I think. But for now, it's Alex Hope in 4th.
There's indeed a couple of places made based on the grid position there for Alex Hope, so he's just kept the nose fairly clean and has been able to push on through when perhaps a few other drivers having a bit of an unfortunate run.
Charlie Mullaney up the inside of bridge there. He's side by side with Alex Hope now, coming down into Priory. And Charlie's found himself right on the outside now. He's lost 3-4 places, I think. That's not what Charlie needed to be in that repechage position. Alex Hope's managed to hold on. Charlie going up the inside of bridge, which is drying out lap by lap and seems to be, to me, Reeve, the quicker line through that corner, as they're still battling now through Seagrave and Seaman. Coming down to Museum, who's going to be at the front of this pack? I think it's the 71 of Leo Judge has made his way, although round the outside comes the 14 of Milo Smith now up into 4th place. The battle for second is raging. Alex Hayes is back in a repechage position, but he's got Arnav Dungana coming around the outside of Wellington. Can he make that stick? No, he can't. Through stage they go, and it's as they were as they cross the line. Max Hayes in 2nd, Arnav Dungana in 3rd.
We've still got 4 minutes of this one to go, folks, which is great news because this battle is just getting more and more intriguing as it develops. There we can see Milo Smith looking over the shoulders, has made a good innings given how the race was looking for him a few moments ago. There are yellow flags being waved. That is worth noting, as you can probably see in the top end corner of your screens, folks, as two go side by side there, having a look down the inside. Milo Smith hangs it around the outside of the bridge, as you mentioned. It's a quicker run, it seems to be, carrying that momentum. Got some racing on the yellow penalties beginning to creep in. But here we go, we all head on through. It's become a proper train, this. Now, as looking over the shoulders, the 51 of Arnav Dungana. There's Leo Judge just behind, splitting them between Milo Smith as well. Milo Smith's currently under pressure. To boots there as well, but Arnav Dungana has a look down the inside of the right hand that gets ahead of, oh dear, all looking like it's got very close between Leo Judge and Milo Smith. They make contact but don't end up pointing the wrong direction. Leo Judge is instead going to head round the inside and down towards through Seaman there. We run through the farm curve in just a moment, and we're still 3 wide heading through the farm curve. Anyone's game really is who's going to win out and run down towards the first corner. Arnav has the inside, Leo's in the middle, and Milo is going to have to try and work from the outside there. It would be impressive if he's able to do anything, but somehow they all make it through 3 wide, Arnav being the clear winner there.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see in a quick left hand, right hand like that they're still able to go 3 wide into the right hand kink afterwards and still have the racing room to do so. Arnav Dungana somehow held on to 3rd place here. Quick word for James McLaughlin, he is gone at the front of this race. He's got nearly 10 seconds on Max Hayes, who's pulling out on these guys as well as they battle. There's 2 minutes left. Someone, if anyone of this group, is going to have to make the decision that they've got to catch up to get in those repechage positions. Squabbling like this won't make a difference. 37 of Ollie Ward now tries to be that one person. The 14 of Milo Smith. He's got the fastest lap in this race, Reeve.
Yeah,
and with the fastest lap, he's got the lap record at the moment, a 1:18.7. He's got some pace, and I think the 14 now at the front of this is probably the only man who can make his way up into a repechage position and deny James McLaughlin or Max Hayes, more than likely Max Hayes in this scenario, a position in the Pre-A.
He is indeed, but watch out for Ollie Ward as well. That's also in the mix there, trying to close up on Milo Smith. Milo Smith having a great recovery, as I say. Arnav Dungana now looking over the shoulder to see Leo Judge just behind. Alex Hope's made his way on through, up into 5th as well. A few contact warnings coming in, perhaps unsurprisingly, just because of how close the action is here. We go 3 right into turn 1 once again, but none of this does phase, as you say, Max Hayes or James McLaughlin, who are comfortably running in 1st and 2nd respectively there. But over the shoulder, some more drivers. Still, this battle not settled yet, and we are going to be approaching the last lap in this one soon enough. But Max Hayes, rookie driver, 2nd. What a great showing there. That's Arnav Dungana round, seemingly of his own volition there. Unfortunately, it's too aggressive on the brakes, upsets the balance on the kart. Around they go. So easy to do in these karts, but look over the shoulder, Milo Smith there putting that pressure on. Max Hayes now is very much closed up. No, sorry, it's a change of position between Milo Smith and Ollie Ward.
No, it is indeed Max Hayes. This is the battle for 2nd place. You were right in your first assessment of it. Max Hayes under increasing pressure from Milo Smith. Milo seems to have dropped back a little bit in the last couple of corners. Seagrave and Seaman as they come around Museum to start the final lap. James McLaughlin is miles out in front. He's got an 11-second gap back to these now. Milo gets his head down to try and get the slipstream. He's got 17 more corners to go after Wellington. Here's the first of them, that stage. Following him now around Jimmy's curve up to Brooklands. That's number 4. There's Brooklands. Defensive goes Max Hayes. Remember, Max Hayes in his rookie year with Club 100, so this is his first race meeting. They come through Maggots and Beckett's now up to what has been a really big overtaking opportunity so far. Is Bridge round the outside. Look at the different
slide.
lines. Excellent stuff, but Milo Smith still can't find a way past. They're coming now down to Priory. Anything there to the outside goes Milo Smith. As defensive again goes Max Hayes. The next opportunity is Club. That's the right-hander here. Still nothing on. They'll come round the left-hander of Ireland and the right-hander of Tower, heading towards Seagrave now. Right around the outside. It's a long way to go for Milo Smith, and he's not able to make it stick. Seaman now is the penultimate real corner. Can anything happen? There's James McLaughlin. What a fantastic win it is for the 99, and he's super happy with that, as well he should be. And we have had a change of position, Reeve, in Museum. Last lap, last corner. Milo Smith takes that repechage position. Take nothing away from Max Hayes. He's been fantastic in his first race weekend, and we'll see him again later at the front of the B final. But really good racing, Reeve. Ollie Ward 4th, Alex Hope 5th, Leo Judge 6th, William Taylor 7th, 8th Harley Brown, 9th Noah Morris, and 10th Felix Flynn. If the rest of the races are anything like that, we're in for an absolute treat this afternoon.
We are indeed. James McLaughlin, what a force in that race. Milo Smith, as you mentioned, he probably thought it was all over with that earlier spin, but clearly unfazed and ends up with a fantastic result. We'll see these two again in the Pre-A.
Alright, so that was the Pre-B final. I think I came around 7th or 8th. From 4th dropped down a few places at the start, but overall pretty fun, good race. Same as my first proper outdoor race. Conditions weren't ideal in the wet, but yeah, I think I did really well. Sadly, in the B final, I got taken out, or got caught up in an incident in turn 1, which dropped me down near like the back of the pack, but fought my way back up to around 11th. But sadly, there's not much footage because they're focusing mainly on the battle in front. So yeah, I've got Wilton Mill, which is round 2, coming up soon. And just before that, I'm off to GYG to do in the rentals. If you want to see more on that, go on to my Instagram, which is HMB Karting. And yeah, Alpha, just want to say thanks to Alpha Live for doing all the video work. It was really well done. Good commentary. And yeah, I'd just like to say like, subscribe and comment on the video. It helps out a lot. And it's sadly a lot harder to make these videos now that we're not allowed the cameras in the races, so we're going to try to do our best with more off-track footage and more fun footage.